Hello, Justin.
Hi,
Nice to see you again.
you too?
And you said to me on the telephone that you had an issue that you'd like to discuss with me. So tell me what's happening.
Yeah, the issue's really centering around the sales in my branch at the moment, particularly in my team. When I look at the comparison between other branches about my size, the sales are not where they should be. I'm missing a few targets, and I don't want that to continue into next month and then the next month.
Okay, so you say you're noticing that the sales are not as good as other branches,
Yeah.
and you want to improve them.
Yeah, well, I'm in a branch which is inside a shopping mall, so I
Right.
get a lot of people coming past, a lot of people coming in and out of the branch. We're always busy,
Yes.
and what I've been doing is talking to some of the other managers, and I've noticed that actually some of the branches without so much footfall going past have actually got better sales than in my team, and I think that's the thing that's really opened my eyes to it, and I need to do something and think of some options.
Yeah, I can see why you'd think that way, because obviously if you have got more people knowing where you are and being near you, then in theory the sales should be much easier to achieve.
I hope so. I think so.
So tell me, Justin, what would success look like?
I think it's partly about the numbers, absolutely. It's about, of course, achieving the sales targets and being comfortable that those are being met. But I think it's probably bigger than that, in that I feel that the service is also, there's a focus on sales through service at the moment. So I think the service aspect is particularly important to me as well. That's partly, for me, what success would be about, that I know we're truly engaging with customers.
Right.
And I'm wondering at the moment, perhaps we're not.
Okay. So when you say perhaps we're not,
I guess I'm not quite sure what the issue is in terms of what's at the root cause of the sales not being met. My job takes me in and out of the branch quite a bit. I'm also not in the banking hall all the time, so sometimes I'm in the back office. But from what I've seen, I think that there's sometimes people coming in the branch and they're not getting acknowledged quickly,
Okay.
and they're waiting quite a long time. And I've even seen people walk away from the front desk when customers come towards them. So I'm a bit concerned, but I can't put my finger on it definitely that it's about the customer service.
so you're saying part of this is about achieving sales,
Yeah.
but you've also observed some things about customer service which are concerning you.
Yeah, they are, and I think they're just sort of coming into my mind now. I haven't necessarily talked to anyone about it
Right.
seriously yet, but there are some things that, from a service point of view, I would like to see improve as well.
Yes. Okay. So the goal is to achieve the level of sales that you've been set,
Yes.
but to maintain and improve customer service at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of those.
Okay. So what have you done so far?
Well, okay. Some of the things that I know have worked for me before in other teams around this has been having a chart on the wall with who's selling which products.
Right.
We've got various different things that are important. There's a drive on credit cards, home loans, that sort of thing. So I've sort of put a chart up with the different products, with the
Yes.
different staff members' names next to them, so that people can see quite visibly how they're doing.
Yes.
I'm not sure that's really helped, to be
What sort
honest.
of reaction did it get?
Hardly any reaction at all, really. I put it up and I sent an email around to everybody to say, hey, look, I'm going to ask you to share with each other any tips you've got around sales. And
Yes.
one of the things that I'd like to see is that everybody's sales will go up. And
Right.
in helping that, let's be really sort of public with each other about how we're all doing. Thinking that would probably spur people on, but I'm not so sure that it
Hasn't really
has.
happened.
Yeah.
Did you seek any feedback about how they felt about
No,
it?
I haven't. No, I haven't. It's just really been my observation. I haven't really thought to ask them how it's gone. So no, that's something else that I could do.
Right, so that might be an option.
Yeah, definitely.
So you say you've done the sales chart.
Yeah.
Anything else that you've already tried?
Um, I think the one thing that has had a little bit of impact, yes, I have tried, is to suggest that there is one person in the branch who does give really good customer service,
Right.
and their sales are a little bit higher than the rest of the team. So I did suggest to them that they might like to, at one of our team briefings, share with the rest of the guys what works for them, some tips about...
Sort of a mini session.
Yeah. And I think that would I haven't actually pinned them down to a meeting yet to get them to do it, but I suggested it to them and they seemed quite open to the idea.
Okay.
So
you say you've tried the sales chart.
yeah.
You've suggested the person giving some feedback and some tips to people.
Yeah.
That's to do. So, what else could you do?
I think I've had this idea about everybody having some time one-to-one with me, and I haven't done anything about that yet. I've got a sales background. I've also got quite a strong customer service background. So I think one of the things that I could do is be present a little bit more actually in the banking hall and actually catch people doing it right and give them some recognition, because there are times when they're doing it well. I think that's something I definitely could do.
Definitely catch them doing it right.
Yeah.
And you say you haven't been present much.
I think that's possibly part of my, earlier in the conversation when I said I'm really not sure what the issue is. Yeah, I have not been there enough to catch people not only doing it right, but also to notice opportunities that they've missed. And if I'm honest, I've possibly missed giving some feedback to people when I really should do, to say, actually, that customer, you could have spoken to them about this, and what stopped you asking them about this situation. And I think being present more and making the time to do that would give me the opportunity to give a bit of feedback.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you were present, how would you feel about giving feedback to people who are particularly not achieving the targets?
I guess that's something I wouldn't relish, the idea. I wouldn't look forward to it. However, it goes with the job. And I think as long as I make sure that I structure it, think about it, give them some examples, then I'd be okay at that. I'd be okay.
When you say, I sense I'd be okay, it suggests that it isn't something you've been doing a lot of.
I haven't. If I'm honest, I haven't had the time, but I think possibly I've avoided it a little bit. Sometimes I've seen somebody on a very busy day and they've had a lot of people who may be on holiday in the United Arab Emirates, lots of people from abroad to deal with, and I sort of excused some of the behaviours and perhaps avoided giving some feedback. Yeah, I've maybe hoped with all the sort of goodwill in the world that they'll just sort of improve without me having to sit them down and talk to them.
Okay. So is this the real issue? How you feel about giving feedback?
Yeah, I think it could be, actually. Yeah, yeah.
So based on that, we've agreed that you want to increase their target, or get them to achieve their targets.
Yeah.
You want customer service to improve. So far, you think that you haven't really, had the time or possibly even felt comfortable enough to have the discussions with them.
Yeah.
So moving forward to achieve that goal, what could you do?
Well, I think I really need to consider the team and how fair I would be to them if I give them that feedback and do it in a way that they understand this is part of their development. I could probably use a bit of a coaching style with them, maybe. I think rather than... I don't want to be seen as the big bad boss who sits them down and tells them, you've been doing it wrong. So I think maybe what I could do is ask them some reflection type questions and get them to think, and perhaps for them to tell me what they could have done differently. That might work. And I'd feel more comfortable about that with my own style as a manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, you could get them to come up with solutions and coach them. It was quite interesting when you said, I don't want to be seen as the big bad boss. What's that about?
I think I have a natural tendency at work and out of work to want to please people. I have a good rapport with the team, and I probably see them very much as my equals at work, and I'm almost family, I guess, really. And I think that what that has led to is me putting off doing anything that might upset them a bit, or, you know, make them think I'm exercising some sort of authority or power over them. So, but actually, it is my responsibility to bring up the sales target, the sales achievements against target. So,
so bearing that in mind, what could you do about this feeling that you have?
Well, I think actually talking to you has helped today, just to acknowledge that the feeling is there. But I think that one of the things I might do first is to give some feedback and to try some coaching with one member of the team in particular, who I knew would be quite open to it, and who I definitely think will take it in the manner that it's intended, which I think will probably help my confidence a bit.
Okay.
If I start with that person rather than somebody who might be a bit more defensive, or
the real tricky ones.
Yeah. So that will sort of encourage me that, okay, no, this is part of my job and I'm expected to do it.
Absolutely. And anything else that you could do to help increase your confidence?
Well, I think I've got a really good colleague in another branch who I did have an informal conversation, and we didn't go into as much depth, and I probably didn't open up as much as I have to you. But I had a conversation with them about sales targets, as you do. We get talking about these things, and they were telling me about some of the ways that they keep track on it and give people feedback, and they seem to be very comfortable with that. And I guess that actually I could have a chat with them and, you know, get some tips.
Right.
See how they approach it, see how they frame the question, and probably just how much monitoring do they do as well,
Yes,
because
that'd be very interesting.
I want to get the balance right. I don't want to suddenly start being there all the time giving them feedback when they've perhaps not had me around that much.
Yes, and
suddenly I'm there all the time.
But you're right, it sounds like that person could be quite an informal mentor.
Yes,
Who
absolutely.
could support you.
Yeah, I think that would really help.
Okay. So we've agreed that you want to build your confidence so that you can give more feedback, that you can coach people more, that you can help to tell them when they're doing it right, as well as help them to improve their performance.
Mm-hmm.
You've talked about perhaps improving your confidence with your colleague helping you, and you also had the other idea earlier about having somebody giving some sales techniques to them, which might help too.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I think the other things that I haven't really got on top of since I took over the team is training for the staff, just to check what training have they actually had so far, because they've all joined at different times. So I've made an assumption that they've all had the same training and the same level of training at the same time, and actually for some of them maybe they need a refresher.
Right.
Maybe it's something a little bit more than just one of the other colleagues presenting at the team meeting, maybe some training through the academy.
That could be an idea, but what it's sounding like is that you're not entirely sure what's holding each of these people back.
That's it. I think I have to have a conversation with each of them as individuals, as well as getting a team picture at a team meeting.
Yes.
I need to be there more and coaching more, really, you know, talking to them and finding out, and then looking at where that fits with the competency framework and some development planning for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Justin, from everything we've talked about, looking at your leadership skill really and your confidence, the training and the coaching, the sitting down, finding out with them where they are and what would help. What do you think has sort of the best likelihood of success?
I think the contact with the staff is the bit that I've missed. I've got to do that. And I think that's the most likely to make a difference on so many different levels.
Right.
Yeah, I think that will help them see that I'm interested,
yes,
see that I'm noticing,
yes,
and actually it will give me the information that I need to probably pick up on the other suggestions that I've come up with, you know, around things like training, coaching.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you'll have the information on which to put the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing I think I need to start with is talking to them individually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what will you do first?
Okay. Well, I will. It's just coming up to the weekend, so I will have some time over the weekend to think this over a bit more. But who I will start with, I will begin on Sunday when we start the new week. So I'll have an opportunity to clear some time in my diary between now and then, and I will actually get out there, out by the front counter, and see what's going on. And then make sure that once I've had some time with each individual, that I can make sure we're in the back office together, some one-to-one time, 20 minutes, to have some informal coaching and really find out what's going on from them. So
There sounds a lot about finding time here.
yeah, it
And
is.
I wondered how easy that was going to be for you to find this time.
I think I've just realised how important it is, and because of that, I will make the time. And I think it's about being physically present, because some of the work that I do, I could actually do near the front counter rather than in the back office with the door shut.
Okay, so it's a different way of working.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
So we've agreed that you're going to have a think about who you'll start with,
Yeah.
and then you're going to start on Sunday, being much more present, starting working with a couple of people, finding out what it is that holds them back,
Yeah,
doing some coaching with them and working with them.
yeah, good.
And then when you've done that, perhaps that would be a good idea for us to sort of talk about next steps and check in and see how that's going.
Yeah, it really would. It would. And I think that will, by that point, I'll have a much clearer picture about where the focus needs to be around the things like training and
Yes.
ongoing support for them, and should be starting to see some figures come up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And any other support I can give you?
I think today has just been really useful. This has given me the real desire to want to get started and make a difference. So for now, this is enough. Thanks.
Okay. Well, I'll give you a call middle of next week.
Great.
And then check how it went.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot.